like, first of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll fucking cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy, but just Kendrick, I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things and we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well fuck you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I'll let him choose a position.
Why are you pulling this picture up, Mark? Why are you doing this?
Put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce's girl. Look at that shit.
Oh my God, dude, that's unbelievable.
Yo, I'll be honest. I would go so far as to say I don't think he could stop most people on the planet from having sex with him. Like, the only reason he got security is to stop people from having sex with him whenever he wants. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people who could fuck me against my will. I was in an elevator once with this drag queen, and this motherfucker's like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
And we're in the elevator, and we're going down. I'm like, yo, if he wanted to take it, I gotta cause a ruckus or something like that. Like, I gotta my pants, I gotta do something. I know with Kendrick that he's talking a lot of shit, but if it came down to it, I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle. I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle and make love to him if I wanted to, and there's nothing he could do about it. I might not be hard. Dick might just slap soft against his butt. I could be romantic with him, and there's nothing he could do about it, to the point, like, I think I'm so charming, he would just fall into it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think he would just be so charmed. He would be like, damn, like, whack, 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 whack. Let me suck it up. You want to talk about another album called Damn. Sit down. Reincarnated. Ask I penetrated. Listen, but in all seriousness, we love Kendrick Lamar, our woke king, and I think we're gonna do our best to abide by his. I don't know what his rules are about, like, me having sex with him if we're in a room together.
I don't think you'd want that.
We don't know.
And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.
What it do, y'all? It's Coffee on the Vid. Back at it, and what in the fuck is going on here, man? Andrew Schulz really committed to this whole weirdo-ish, right? I know people are probably gonna comment and be like, yo, don't be in your feelings, or too PC, this, that, and the third. Comedy is offensive, and all that. And real talk, I know it is, man. You know, I'm a fan of comedy. I don't tap into it as much these days as I did back in the past, but I will from time to time. And I get it, man. Like, comedy is offensive. It's abrasive. It hurts feelings. And, you know, in this PC era, or, oh, you know, that triggered me and all that kind of ish, in that type temperature we live in these days, you know, like, comedy is just in a different state, you know what I mean? Like, people will go watch comedy and then be talking about, man, I was offended or whatever. And then people will say, well, why would you go there? Why would you tap into that if you're on this type stuff or whatever? And I mean, I get it. A lot of people are like, yo, everyone needs to stop being so pussy and all that and quit whining, right? These are the type narratives I picture people saying and all that, man, right? But as I already said, Schulz committed to that weirdo type ish, right? Like, it's not just pause, right? There's all kinds of pause energy there, but this man's talking about violating Kendrick, like, on some other ish, man. Maybe he should tap in with Brick Baby. You guys ever hear Brick Baby always talking about how he's gonna violate a man? He turned it into like a catchphrase a couple times on lives. I ain't even gonna repeat it, and I'm not really gonna go back over much of what Schulz said there, but he's talking about violating Kendrick, and it was just bizarre and creepy and cringy and twisted, if you ask me. Let me know what y'all think about it all. Like, he really committed to that. He wouldn't stop. He was going all the way in. Pause, and just had this whole devious laughing to himself type vibe about being a deviant. I can't even call it, man. And to be honest, I don't even really watch Schulz like that anymore. I had seen him on some things. I was a fan of the Brilliant Idiots podcast with him and Charlemagne. I don't know if they still even do that. They used to have a good, like, some good chemistry potting together and everything like that. But this has been years, and I've seen him in some movies and stuff. And I think he's got a bit full of himself and arrogant in a sense, man. Once he got on the Joe Rogan podcast and all that, like, you can't tell this dude nothing. But this ain't even where it stopped. There was much, much more. And it also got into where it all started from, why he was getting at Kendrick like this. As you know, Kendrick had some bars aimed at a lot of different people on this new project. We already know Lil Wayne, among others, and Schulz was one of them.
Rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women, so we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more.
Yeah.
Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers, okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that shit up.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? Be more like us and, bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I beat my bitch with a stick. What? You can lick on the nuts or suck the dick. I beat my bitch with a stick. What?
Did you just think of that?
That's a real lyric.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a real lyric from music that protects women. And for decades, protects women. And listen, right now the guy on top, Kung Fu Kenny,
He is the guy on top.
He is the guy.
he is making sure that comedians, he put a law in.
Yeah.
He put a law in place. All right, let's see the exact line, okay? Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Now, technically speaking, if we're going off of grammatic English,
Okay.
he is saying, I can talk about black women, and that is law.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black
So
woman.
he's basically saying all white comedians
Are only allowed to
talk about black.
exclusively.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a law.
Finally, he understands
It's a
it.
law.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes
Because
sense.
he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character called Token on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big
That's
fan if
true.
he's going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fact.
Al, you're getting groomed right now. We need to ungroom.
Yeah,
we need to ungroom you right now. Okay?
Let's-
I mean that, listen, because he sent people, he said, slide on. What he said, slide on, where's the line? Okay. The N-words that coon, the N-words that being groomed, slide on both of them. Whoa, that seems like a call to violence.
It does.
Why would he call to, if he's about protecting black people, why would the call to violence be towards the black dudes, not the white guy making the joke?
Well, you gotta understand.
What?
No. You gotta understand.
I snitch. I cooperate. I tell. Litigation. Okay? You go squabble up in the jail cell.
Here's what you gotta understand about Ken. It's very important to him to protect black women. That's why he's never done a song with an abuser confirmed. He's never done a song
thank
with
God.
anybody
Thank
that's
God.
that's
Thank God.
suspected of abuse.
Thank
He's
God.
never threatened to remove his music from Spotify
Thank
because
God.
they removed R. Kelly's music, who for sure fucked and held captive underage black women.
Hold on.
This is all very important to Kendrick.
Wait a minute, just let me understand what's going on here. Because I think that you're using sarcasm as a comedic device.
It is a comedic device.
You're so fucking smart right now that I don't know if you're serious or making jokes. Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and
Oh yeah.
of R. Kelly? And actually, in reality, he would take his own music off Spotify to protect R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Someone who's kidnapped,
A sexual
molested,
predator, yeah.
and black women?
Oof, children.
Are you saying that he's done songs with other men who have potentially put hands on black
Not
women?
potentially, confirmed.
Wait a minute, convicted?
Yeah, I don't know what you call Chris Brown, but yeah, whatever that is.
Not crazy! Not crazy! I took a picture with Chris Brown. Hey, bro, I took a picture with him
Hey,
immediately.
can I tell you something?
Yes.
We ain't protecting nobody. Y'all can protect your fucking self.
Everybody gets these jokes over here.
I don't know Andrew Schulz. All right.
I've never understood it. I don't get it. Never understood how he got a voice on hip hop. He's not a DJ, not an expert on the culture, not anyone who's ever put anyone on, played music, supported artists. He just sat next to Charlemagne and all of a sudden got a pass to start talking about a music and culture he knows nothing about and doesn't understand fundamentally. Kendrick takes a shot on him on the album by pointing out that people shouldn't let a white comedian talk about black women, whatever. His response is to threaten to sexually assault Kendrick in a weird, joking way. Okay, flat, weird joke, but I get it. I get the job you're trying to do. And then also responds by pulling this, since when has hip hop been so pro women? Because hip hop's so pro women. Why are you talking about hip hop? We're talking about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick is the representative for all rap. Do you even like rap? Do you even like hip hop? Like, I know you don't care about black culture at all. Like, you're one of those people who talks about the music because it's hot and trendy. You don't know it. You don't get it. You don't love it. Deep down, it's just a means to an end for you. I get that. But you went straight Bill O'Reilly? And when a rap artist says something, you come at all rap as if Kendrick Lamar is 2 Live Crew? The man's been uplifting women his entire career. How is that your reply?
I would defend to the death his right to do everything he does. The thing that I find unusual, and it's not a criticism so much, but his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power. Women and gays and immigrants are kind of, to my way of thinking, underdogs. And, he ought to be careful because he's Jewish. And a lot of the people who want to pick on these kind of groups, the Jews are on that list a little further. You got women, gays, gypsies, and suddenly you find Jews. And
suddenly Andrew's arrested.
Yeah, so, obviously he should do what he wants. And
why does he get away with it, do you think, then?
Well,
we have never laughed at jokes about the
he's appealing. I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure of their manhood because that's a problem when you're going through adolescence. Could I be? I hope I'm not one of them. And the women who assert themselves and are competent are a threat to these men, and so are immigrants in terms of jobs. So
that's why we as an...
So a lot going on there, man. You guys heard the lyrics, the bars aimed at Schulz from Kendrick in regards to speaking on black women and Schulz having a voice and it more or less needing to be checked or made law or whatever the way Kendrick put it, and Andrew Schulz immediately goes to being the grammar police, trying to clown KDot and speaking about, hip hop is so pro-woman and all that, and just being very sarcastic. And listen, this is what Schulz wants. He's loving this, okay? Y'all heard the other stuff, man. That George Carlin thing, someone dug that up and they just said, man, ain't this a trip? R.I.P. George Carlin's happened. And let me know if you guys rocked with George Carlin at all. I heard someone once say that they thought of him as like the white Dick Gregory. Do you think that that's accurate? Did you rock with his comedy? But do you think that they had similarities amongst them? But you heard him talking about Andrew and how does Andrew get away with this, and people not being comfortable in their own skin and being a sus pause on the low and all that. And someone just dug that up and said, man, ain't that a trip? R.I.P. George Carlin. This sounds like it was all the way back then about Andrew Schulz now. So do you think that added up, that it really felt like Carlin was speaking to Schulz nowadays? Obviously he's not, but I just thought that was interesting. And then of course Rosenberg just going off saying he never really rocked with Schulz. How did Schulz get this voice, to have a voice in the hip hop world and the culture and all that, and that Charlemagne more or less created a monster, that he did all these MTV shows, Guy Code, and they did their podcast together, and Charlemagne just pushed him forth when he got a chance. And as I stated, I believe Charlemagne was the one that brought him up to Joe Rogan, and at that point when he got on there, his numbers skyrocketed to a whole nother lane, and he's just been doing his thing or whatever. And like I was saying in the beginning of the video, I used to listen to Schulz on the pod a little bit, but since he's had more success, I haven't really tapped into his ish like that. And it's so crazy, someone else pointed out something that I had thought for the longest time, Billy Joel voice, when I was seeing Schulz with that crazy haircut. He don't have it now, but you see the one flick of him in one of the most evil, sick, twisted motherfuckers. Y'all know Adolf, right? I swear every time I seen that haircut, I was like, man, Schulz looks like some kind of Nazi white supremacist with that haircut or something. I always kept thinking that. There's a video somewhere where I said that. It might only have 10 views or something, but it's out there and you see someone else said it, man. Like he's straight up looking like some old Nazi or whatever. And he's loving this, like I said, beefing with Kendrick Lamar, right? He'll use whatever he can to get in where he fits in. And, you know, like you heard Rosenberg talking about, people gotta, you know, do that. What do they say? Do the ends justify the means or whatever? They gotta get a paycheck in their pocket and keep it pushing or whatever, right? Everyone's gotta get to a bag, but that's all Schulz really cares about. Like I kind of think, or I think Rosenberg is accurate, right? Schulz, for one, does he really have a voice in hip hop like that? Like, because you see, he was trolling Meek Mill, calling him GAY, you know, and Meek's all been reacting and going, like, that's a whole nother story. I think there could be something there with Meek, man. His reaction says it all after the Diddy ish. He's talking about he got all this 100,000 plus. Someone tell him why his name's in the case, Meek. It's just kind of like what Schulz was saying in his routine there about, hey, I don't think Meek is gay, but he is the worst at convincing people he's straight, you know? Like with this ish, it's like, hey, Meek, like this stuff made it out to the news. A lot of this is just theories. It's not fact or whatever, but the way you're reacting seems like, you know, you're guilty or something like that. I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation, but Schulz is just going to be happy, just like when Charlemagne got him on to Joe Rogan, beefing with Kendrick Lamar, having some bars aimed at him by Kendrick Lamar, the numbers of eyeballs and all that, you know, the traffic that's going to go up for him. I'm sure he's ecstatic, you know, and look what he's doing. He's beefing with him. He's getting all weird or something, like it's some old Holly weird Illuminati ritual or whatever, dissing Kendrick, talking about violating him and everything like that, you know, and he's just trying to, oh, how can I keep this thing going? I'll talk crazy. I'll disrespect the ish out of him. I'll get on some wicked violator ish. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to milk it for everything he can. And you see what someone said here in regards to that haircut. They said, Andrew Schulz is a privileged German JEW. He's not funny. His comedic and acting career is subpar at best. The only time people remember he exists is when he is saying outlandish things about black people. He is attacking KDot because he is exposing culture vultures and black art. So there you have it, right? Like, this is good. Like, oh, Kendrick, big name. He'll beef with him, you know, like it'll get more attention on what he's got going on, more momentum, you know, more momentum. They say all publicity is good publicity, or there's no such thing as bad pub. So he's gonna milk it for what he can, and he's doing it just in this way, and he's getting so disrespectful and all that. What did someone say? F what Andrew talking about, this dude making a whole show with white comedians who joke about black women. Y'all just up here like, how dare Schulz say anything to Kendrick? That's about that South Park thing that they were talking about. And I don't know, like, it's pretty wild. Like, Schulz is he really the on some Bill O'Reilly-ish? Like, is that what it is? Is he just running amok doing Bill O'Reilly and becoming this somewhat of a hip-hop commentator? Because that's what I'm saying is, like, when we're hearing that, like what Rosenberg said, like, hey, yo, Charlemagne created a monster and got you in. Like, does he really have that big of a voice? You know, like, is this what it is? Is that what he's just going to continue to do, is troll rappers and then resort to saying weird ass ish like that? Because check it out, man. That's weird. That's twisted. That's like get socked in the mouth type ish for that, caught lacking. And obviously, you know, Schulz said he's telling, and I always tell y'all, like, I'm a nerd, I'm a square and all that, you know what I mean? But if someone is a nerd and a square in the way in which Schulz is saying, and then he's going out here trying to troll people and talking about violating them and stuff, like, you might get caught lacking and getting your ass whooped, and you probably deserve it, man. And some people would say, well, again, it's comedy. Don't get all in your feelings. Okay, listen. It's comedy. Understood, but there's a line. And when he's talking about he'll do some sick, twisted ish to him, and then Kendrick can answer if it was consensual or not. That's all he can do, and all this extra ish. Like, come on, man. That's some whole weirdo ish. And I don't know. Schulz might get his ass whooped for this one, and he would deserve it. But check this out, man. You guys know the way the internet works. Apparently, this stuff came up here. Allegations of abuse have reemerged from Andrew Schulz's ex-girlfriend, Sarah Phillips. Sarah made these claims back in 2020. They started dating in 2011. Sarah was 16. Andrew was 28. Whoa, that's pretty weird, man. And I think illegal, right? It should be offender shit, right? And broke up in 2015. And check it out what she says. For years, I was manipulated, controlled, and abused by him. The verbal abuse was constant. I was isolated from my friends. If I wore makeup that he thought was too much, he'd wipe it off my face in public. He'd force me to change before leaving the house if he thought my outfit would get too much attention. Once, after being sick for weeks without explanation, I found out he had been using my toothbrush to clean the bottom of his shoes. To this day, I can't make sense of that kind of sickness. Yo, allegations are allegations. Women have lied on dudes. Dudes have lied on women. Everyone will have to decide if they believe this to be true or not. But that's some twisted ish, right? Like that old jealousy ish and everything is fucked up. And it's the age difference too, man. That's crazy, man. He was dating a 16-year-old girl. We gotta look into this, man. We gotta look into this more, man. But the shoes, like what the fuck? Okay, on another occasion, on a vacation in Aruba, his anger got so out of control that I had to hide from him in the hotel bathroom with the door locked. Soon after, I began having panic attacks almost every night. There are other things that happened during this relationship that I will probably never talk about for the rest of my life. As happy and healthy as I feel in my very fortunate life right now, seeing this person's face, hearing their voice, seeing their name is still very triggering. Damn, he traumatized this underage girl who is now of age, but still, that's weird if that is indeed what it is. Again, alleged is the key word, y'all. And let me know your opinions and all that in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, man. Maybe it always will be. I don't know, but I just ask you to please try to understand that it's not a funny joke to keep sending me things related to this person. Please stop. Please try to understand. So, man, like, what is this? Andrew Schulz is 45 years old, fantasizing about violating Kendrick because he said white comedians can't make fun of black women. Am I the only person who thinks that's insane? And like, you take that and you take these allegations in here and it's like, man, is this dude on some Jeffrey Dahmer psychopath shit? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy, man. I thought this dude was just trolling. Like, let's see, I'm just seeing if any of this is other. Yeah, it seems to be all, what's this? Oh, same stuff. So yeah, it was just those 3 pages when it comes to her allegedly exposing him, man. But man, like I said, you do the math in the way that gentleman broke it down. Like Kendrick, like, again, comedy's comedy, okay? We understand that. But to talk about violating Kendrick, and again, maybe he should go chill with Brick Baby and they can do that offender-ish pause and it's twisted what the fuck to each other or something. You guys, like, seriously, why does Brick Baby keep talking about he's gonna do pause? I can't even say it, man. But back to Schulz, says he is, again, he's so happy beefing with Kendrick Lamar. It does nothing but raise his stock unless he takes a major L in a way, you know? But you hear the jokes and you're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And you hear this and you hear the way that guy put that into perspective. Like, what do you guys think, man? Is Schulz some kind of sick, twisted psychopath? And again, when it comes to relationships, like I said, women could lie, dudes could lie. It happens all the time. You know, so alleged is the key word with all that. And again, you heard the throwback George Carlin, your thoughts about that, if you thought it synced up, lined up at all, you know. Someone just shared that. And Rosenberg just basically saying, yo, you're a culture vulture. You don't care about black culture or hip hop culture at all. You used it as a jump off point to get into your comedy-ish pushing. Charlemagne held your hand and pushed you forth when he could, got you on Joe Rogan, and now you're on some weirdo-ish and some Bill O'Reilly-ish. Like he said, you don't even know what you're talking about this women stuff. That Kendrick is a man of the people. You know, he like, Schulz is trying to just do this big old hip hop thing. And he's like, yo, you don't even know what you're talking about, B. We're talking about Kendrick. And you're trying to lump everything together like you don't know what you're talking about, you know? And anyone who knows, man, the private prison agenda that got pushed on some Illuminati-ish into the, eliminating conscious hip hop, switch stuff up, but Kendrick still does him and still pushes the message that he pushes. And, Schulz wants to make jokes and all that, but I thought that those jokes were weird and whack, and it just, like Kendrick is different. And Schulz just on some weird-ish, you know what I mean? Like we said, we're talking about the Illuminati. That whole joke thing, like, what is this? Some kind of thing that you're trying to get, like a humiliation ritual or something, you sick bastard? But that's gonna do it. I look forward to talking to all y'all in the comments. Again, make sure to subscribe, stay tuned for more. It's Coffee, talking music, news, sports, and more all day, every day. And I'm up out of here. Peace. Updates, stay tuned.